don't need 20 friends. You just need 3 motherfuckers and you can take over a country. Okay, that's what we're confused as Americans. We think we need all these motherfuckers. You give me 3 bad motherfuckers, you're finished. You understand me? You're fucking finished. Because we got each other. And you know, listen, man.
Look alive, look alive. Mono Matters, we back in the building. Hey. My brother Nove, J Optics, back for another one. Welcome back, good people. Man. Yeah. It's been a hell of a fucking ride so far, man.
It's been a ride.
I was really looking at our metrics the other day and realizing, like, I've been doing this shit for, like, almost 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Jesus. 2 years already?
2 years already. I mean, well, obviously, you came in, like, the last year or so, but
you know.
it's been wild. Your thoughts so far as, like, you know how good you are at this shit?
First of all.
You're natural.
First of all.
You know that.
First. I appreciate the flowers. I will take them gladly. I appreciate it. But, as I always say, I'm only trying to live up to your greatness, you know, so we can do this back and forth.
You humble me.
No, we can do this back and forth, sir.
You humble me.
But, yeah, man, anytime you get to talk to the people and you get, like, honest and real feedback, it's like, damn, yo, this shit's amazing, man.
And speaking of the people, we coming up on 1,000 followers on our Instagram page. That'd be a great milestone for us to hit. So if you do listen to the show but don't actually follow us on Instagram, shoot us a follow. Add us to your favorites so we pop up on your timeline. Engage in the conversations, dialogues, and reels that we share up there. And just become a part of the family, man. Stop, get comfortable. Take your shoes off, grab a plate.
Come on in here, get a plate, man.
And get some goddamn Casamigos or some shit. We good.
Yeah, you got the Casamigos, bro.
So what the hell we talking about today? Ooh. Obviously, we sticking with the theme what we've been talking about with movies and whatnot. Today, the 2007 film directed and starring Chris Rock, I Think I Love My Wife.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to hold that movie up as an investigative piece to have a further conversation about marriage and long-term relationships.
Oh, man.
Some of the temptations that comes along with being in a long-term committed relationship. And what else we talking about as far as this movie is concerned, Nove?
I think we're going to touch on whether or not, I'm going to ask a question. Do you feel like marriage can be a prison? Is marriage for everyone? I already think I know where you're going to lean on that based on previous conversations.
It's only one married person on this show.
There is, ironically, and this is going to be great conversation.
I feel like I got my hand on the Bible and I'm fucking working my way up to the goddamn front of the court.
Hey,
right
man,
now.
Listen, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
Hell
but
fucking
the truth?
no.
You gonna lie? You understand?
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it. At
I
least
I know how this game plays, bro.
Hey, man.
I know how this game plays.
Hey, man. I'm not
But
playing
on
no
top of
games.
that, and that great conversation that is coming later, we got to talk about some things that's shaking in the news, what's buzzing, cousin. And also, this is a drinking man's show.
It is.
We going to sip on something
I'm sipping on something.
while we recording.
I'm sipping on something.
And today, to go along with our entree, we are drinking a rye whiskey. It comes from the makers of Milam and Green. This company is based in Indiana, and they bottle it in Texas. Me being a whiskey man, I would say that I haven't had many ryes in the past. This might be my first time drinking rye for real.
Hey, man.
I don't know. But this is Milam and Green. This one is provided to us by Nove. So thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the bottle, of course, I got to read everything. And when I read this shit that's on the fucking label, yo, this shit says Milam and Green. And they have a quote underneath that says, when facing down a great bear, don't play dead. Rather, make light of the situation, keep eye contact, and pour a drink for two. Who?
There you go.
And Jesus?
There you
What the fuck was that? And why did you put that on your whiskey? Son, that shit is bizarre as hell.
Hey, man. You know what? Maybe it's one of those, like, you know, if you're going to go anyway, might as well go with a drink. And if you're going to go with any drink, might as well go with a nice glass of Milliman Green. But yeah, that was wild because I'm definitely playing dead. And if we make it, I'm definitely going to drink afterwards, though.
I'm going to tell motherfuckers like Mystical said, you ever see me fight with a grizzly bear? Save the bear!
Oh, my God. That was the funniest line. Oh, my God.
So, yeah. It's time to, let's taste, see how it tastes. And we'll give our thoughts on this fine rye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sweet off the rip.
Ooh.
Definite sweet off the rip. It's got like a syrupy thing going on with it.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bitter, too. It's sweet and bitter.
It's
interesting.
Don't drink this shit on an empty stomach either.
Yeah.
I can tell you that shit right now. My insides feel warm.
Warm?
Than a motherfucker right now. This is for somebody who definitely smokes cools.
Wow.
Choose Big Red.
Drinks Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, drinks Dr. Pepper. Eats eggs, shell included. I definitely would not recommend this whiskey. I'm not sure the people at Milliman Green. Y'all might be some great people, but y'all did not put out a great rye. But I don't have nothing to compare it to. I gotta be fair right there. I don't have nothing to compare it to. But damn, it's
you know what's so crazy? Didn't we had a previous Milliman Green selection that was a little bit.
It was a bourbon though.
Yeah, it was a little bit smoother.
Nice.
This one is kicking and screaming all the way down.
This so I'm thinking that this is like some shit that a cowboy might drink before going into a battle with an Indian, knowing that he's not coming back.
Or the motherfucker, that's probably exactly why they put that quote there. You staring down the bear, you drink this shit, you like, you know what, I'm ready for whatever the fuck come next.
This is a drink for bear fighters for real and shit.
Yo.
Cannot recommend for the sneaky link. This ain't that, and that ain't this at all. Please stay clear.
Yeah, stay clear
away.
of this one. This one ain't it.
Anywho.
With all that being said,
I'm going to finish this.
Yeah, I was about to say, with all that being said, we don't waste liquor on Mind No Matters.
Not here.
It's going to go down.
Not with this inflation.
You know what they always say, you get through tough liquor sometimes. The more you drink it, the better it get.
Yeah, it might turn you into a better person by the end of the day. But anywho, what's buzzing, cousin? Like, what's going on in the news? A couple of things going on, both good and bad. Your former president.
Whoa.
They called it your Fort Knox.
Whoa, brother. Be careful.
Donald Trump.
Don't paint that narrative, brother.
Yeah. Our former president, Donald Trump, now facing 30-plus counts of felony financial charges. We don't know what all the charges are, but it's speculated that it's something to do with hush money, tax evasion, campaign fraud, amongst other things. But I think it's upwards of like 34 felony counts. So he's been indicted in Manhattan. Apparently, as he has told, and his spokesperson has told, that he plans on turning himself in. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, ask me if I think that Donald Trump gonna serve a fucking second behind bars.
Do you think Donald Trump is going to serve a second behind bars?
Nah, not unless it's a Cliff Bar or a Butterfinger or some shit like that. This man ain't going to jail.
He ain't going to, not at all?
No. No, it's just not gonna happen, bro.
You feel like it's all for show?
You think that in your lifetime you're gonna see a president in jail? I don't think so. The way this works, the way I'm pretty sure his attorneys are set up, the lawyers he's gonna have the best attorneys on this case. I can't see this man doing nothing but get a slap on the wrist, go about your day. Will it have an effect on him running again for president? Maybe, but it could be for the good or for the bad, actually, because they love that he's an anarchist.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, this motherfucker got arrested now too. Like, let's get it. You know what I mean? So
you know what? I as you know, I'm not a Trump supporter at all. I don't ride that wave at all. But one thing I did bring up and I brought up a while ago was, you know what? If there's one thing I will thank him for, I appreciate him being the person to pull back the wool over some people's eyes. Like, yeah, you thought it was something it wasn't. No, it still very much is what we all thought it was, or what we, my melanated people thought it was.
Right.
Like, I do thank him for that, because you got to see a side of some people, even coworkers, like, that's how you really feel?
That's how you really operate. Okay. That's
All
cool.
right, my guy.
That's cool.
All right. Like, hey, you coming? I ain't going no fucking where, bruh. I'm where I'm at. I'm straight.
Yeah, me neither. I'm definitely not a Trump supporter. Never met him personally. Don't like him from afar. But I think this is a great opportunity to make this comment right quick. People that go hard for politicians, what's up with y'all, yo? Like with the bumper stickers, the T-shirts, going to the rallies, like falling head over heels, damn near fucking passing out and fainting. Like, they're all liars. They are all con artists. They all pieces of shit.
Oh, shit.
And the only thing that is that separates them from you is the fact that they got more influence and more power. Now, that's saying a lot, but you can't trust none of these motherfuckers. And I'm not rocking out with this dude. If he goes to jail, I'll be surprised. But, hey, man, you got good attorneys? Use them.
Okay.
All right, so what else is going on? For our music lovers out there, our hip-hop lovers and R&B lovers out there, got a couple new albums that got released. Larry June and The Alchemist just released the album. Alchemist is one of my favorite producers. Beats is fucking fantastic. Your boy Tyler Creator dropped the album. I've become a fan of Tyler Creator over the last.
I remember
3
you
to
said
4,
you were
like
kind
3
of
to 4
rocking
years.
with him a little bit like that.
Yeah, he was a little sus at one point, but he good. He good by me. And Chloe Bailey, she dropped her album today. So this is March 31st for anybody who's listening to this in the future. So much success to them. I hope they hit the streams. Hope they hit their sales that they want to do. I'm a fan of all the people that have been stated right there. So I wish that they have their day in the sun.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure by the time next Tuesday rolls around, there'll be another slate of album releases and everybody will forget about these. But
of course, you know how it goes.
I'm pretty sure they'll be great projects. Got a couple of sad anniversaries here. It has been, unfortunately, 4 years since the passing of the great Nipsey Hussle. Long live Nip. The marathon continues. He definitely left an impact on the game, and we really got robbed of an immense talent. But when you listen to him talk in interviews, like, we really got robbed of like a solid ass dude, yo.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about like somebody that's thorough, but like solid. Yeah.
And intelligent.
He's comprehensive. When you talk about a comprehensive man, that's what you're talking about.
Like, you talked about somebody that was really getting it together and piecing it together and trying to show people how to come out of that and make something, like, think future, not just think like short term. It's like, man.
Investing in yourself. Also a family man.
Yes.
Left behind a family that I'm sure misses him dearly. So long live Nip. Rest in peace. Rest in power, brother. You have definitely missed.
Marathon continues, man.
And we have another anniversary of a tragic passing. Today marks 28 years since the tragic passing of Selena Quintanilla. Selena, for those who don't know, people who grew up in our era, born in the 80s or whatever like that, may remember her from her early career or the movie when she was portrayed by Jennifer Lopez. So, yeah, rest in peace to her. The details around her murder was terrible. Like,
it's crazy.
She got murdered by a fan. You get what I mean? So it's
nuts,
kind of wild.
man.
And, you know, some people speculate that it might have been a setup, but either way, tragic nonetheless. And when we talk about like people who has like superstar potential, when I say like people could reach a level of superstardom where they almost got their own solar system, she was on her way.
Yeah.
She was definitely on her way. So, beautiful soul, lost way too young. So rest in peace, rest in power to Selena as well. So as we get into the main topic at hand, we are talking about the 2007 film, I Think I Love My Wife.
I think I love my wife.
I think I love my wife. Now, with that being said, before we even go any further, I need to reiterate this point right now. I am the only married man in this room right now. All right? So,
It's true.
any questions that get asked of me, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it a bean.
You gonna swear to tell the truth?
But
The
like
whole
my
truth?
man Delroy Lindo say, don't never disrespect my wife. Don't never talk about my wife. All right? So keep it clean. Keep it thorough, right? But we're going to be talking about the temptations that married men and married women go through. Obviously, in this film, directed by Chris Rock, also starring Kerry Washington, also starring Gina Torres. Steve Buscemi is in this film.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Steve Buscemi is a fucking G, yo.
Yes, he
I love him. He was
was.
a goddamn G in this film, too.
Don't ever forget one of the greatest lines that was ever said in the movie was in this movie.
Oh, what? Steve Rock's boss? I mean, Chris Rock boss? Mm-hmm. You can lose a lot of money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money.
My Lord.
God damn, bro. You talking
Might as well
about
put that in-
tabernacle. It should be in the Bible.
Just put it on the T-shirt at this point.
It should be in the Bible. We also had a small appearance by Michael K. Williams. Rest in peace. Omar from The Wire, for those who may not know. In an even smaller role for our eagle-eyed viewers of the movie, Stephen A. Smith is in this movie.
Yes, he is.
He was one of the he was the husband to the dinner date that Chris Rock's character Richard Cooper had went on.
Still ain't had no hairline, but it wasn't as bad as it is
It
now.
definitely wasn't as bad. He was definitely a lot thinner back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know if this was his acting debut or what, but yeah.
That's,
I
but
guess
he talk how he talk.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
That's crazy.
He definitely did.
There's no inside voice.
Speaking of sports anchors or people like sports commentators online. So I'm out here at the grocery store, right? And I'm a religious self-checkout motherfucker. Like, you'll never catch me in the real line, like going up to somebody that's going to ring my stuff up and I got to bag it and then dip. I'm always going to self-checkout. I don't care how much shit I got.
Really?
All right. Yeah, no. I go to self-checkout.
Really? Wow.
So I hit my normal stop and shop grocery store self-checkout. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm over the limit of stuff that you should be in that line
should
with.
be in the other line.
It should be like 10 items or less.
Yeah.
I probably got, 20, 25, whatever.
Wow.
Deal with that. All right?
Wow. All right.
So it perturbs me whenever I see somebody go up to the self-checkout register and they got one or two things and they fuck up and fumble the process to where they got to get an attendant to come over. It's like, yo, you had one job. Scan this, put it on a scale. Scan that, put it on a scale or put it in your bag or whatever like that. Swipe your card, get the hell out.
Yeah. Simple process.
You scan it, you hold it in your hand, you don't put it on a scale. Next thing you know, they got to get somebody to come in and swipe their badge and all this other good shit, right? I hate that. So I'm in line waiting. I'm in a rush. I'm ready to get home, get something to eat. And I see the line is being held up by somebody who's holding two things because they fucked up the process. And now we up to like 90 seconds and I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting mad. I'm cursing to myself. Now I'm cursing out loud. I'm pissed. I said, what is up with this dude, man? How he fucked this up? This dude turns around. He looks at me and shrugs his shoulders. And I said, this dude look familiar as hell. Where I know him from? I know exactly who. It was fucking Chris Broussard from FS1, formerly of ESPN on First Take and
Get
other
the
NBA
fuck
countdowns.
outta here,
An NBA
man.
insider. I think he's on. I think he's with Nick Wright on FS1 right now.
Yeah. First things first.
First things first,
Yeah.
right? And it's tall ass Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard like 6'3", 6'4". And shit.
Yeah,
I said,
he
what the
ain't
fuck?
short. Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and I was looking at him with a pissed look, and then I realized who it was, and my face kind of changed. Like, it's fucking Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard, you ruining my day, dog. So if you listen to this show, right?
Wow.
I'm gonna need you to get it together, bro. You scan your item. Scan your bagels. Put it on the scale.
Yeah, bagels.
I think so. Scan your bread. Put it on the scale. Swipe your card. Finish and pay, and then leave. That's it. Don't hold it in your hand after you scan it. You disrespecting my time, sir. But yeah, I got a chance to meet a sports commentator celebrity. But whatever. Cool. But anywho, this movie, I Think I Love My Wife. Quick synopsis, quick rundown, just so we can give a little bit of context of what we're talking about today. Chris Rock plays a man who is in the corporate world, all right, in corporate America. He's working for a big company. Apparently, he's a great employee, bringing in some money. I think they said the movie brought in like $20 million to the business over time or whatever. He is married.
He is.
He has a child.
He does. Yes.
His wife is beautiful.
Yes.
Gina Torres is a banger.
Yes, she is.
I'm sorry.
Yes, she is.
She ain't got no juice, but she
ain't got no way?
No juice.
How could you say that?
She don't got no juice. You can look at the movie. She can tell you she ain't got no juice.
I wouldn't. Nah, I'm not going to do that.
She don't got no juice.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go as far as saying she ain't got no juice.
If Gina Torres walked past you in this film, you wouldn't turn around and be on some shit like, God damn.
I don't know. Depends.
But anywho. So he's married to his wife, Brenda Cooper, and they seem to be living a life that is a typical married life in America, which is after you've been together for a while, it is a little bit absent of that passion, desire, romance, fire, mystery, that thing. It seems like they're living life as we're raising our kids. Everything's slow, easy, safe, and nice. And Chris Rock seems to be contented with being a dad and whatever. What he's not contented with is the fact that his wife ain't giving up no pussy.
None.
When he tries to make advances on getting said pussy, she's got all the excuses
in the world.
But it all comes a part of the wife pamphlet that they get when you get married. What to say when your husband trying to get some trim.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, they hand that shit out after the wedding.
Wow.
If your husband wants some pussy, they get a list of like 105 things that they could like throw off as excuses to say, all right, yeah, cool, we're not doing this. Tired.
105?
It's 105 things.
Tired is still an excuse?
Tired is definitely still an excuse. Tired is definitely still an excuse.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, there's a sexual component to their marriage that seems to be lacking for him at this point in time.
Yeah.
All right. So fast forward a little bit, Chris Rock's character gets visited by an old blast from the past, not a former romantic interest, but I think it was one of his homies.
Yeah, it's one of his friends' girlfriends.
And even though that was his homie's girl, she bad. So he had a thing for her. Obviously found her attractive.
Yes.
And if, friend wasn't in the way, he probably would have shot his shot, whatever.
Probably.
So the friend is Nikki True, which is played by Kerry Washington, who people go Google Gaga over, but to me, she is aight at best.
Whoa.
That's just me. She goes into the Eva Mendes category. She's beautiful.
Yo,
but you ain't going, yeah.
Yeah, I really, sometimes you say some things, sometimes I know you, so I just, truth. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let you be great. Go ahead. It's cool. As we continue, the beautiful Kerry Washington.
Yeah, beautiful Kerry Washington plays Nikki True. We'll talk about how attractive she is as we go. But she comes in and she just starts shaking shit up. She's seductive. She drops in your window. She's very direct in asking him about how happy he is in his marriage. Mm-hmm. She's wearing the outfits. She's got the legs out. She's flirtatious. With all that being said, she's also smoking cigarettes, but that's neither here nor there.
Come on.
But much like many people who are outside of a person's marriage in real life, has absolutely no respect for his marriage at all.
None?
No.
Well, I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying that's how you feel. Like you.
So it was a part in the film where she asked him, like, "You're married? Oh, that's cool and shit. That's wild. Da da da. Are you happy?" He said, "Yeah, I'm happy." Well, she says,
"You ain't say it right.
You ain't say it right." What the fuck you mean? I ain't say it right. What's your single ass?
Wow.
But she's not pushing up on him in a romantic sense like that. But she seems to be very thirsty for attention, and she seems very thirsty for favors. So she tries to rekindle this friendship. Well, they both do. All right, let's not just put it on her. So they become friends. Nikki is up at his office, it seems like, every goddamn day, walking through his office.
Yeah, that's true. She did pop up an awful fucking lot.
Making all the people inside the fucking Pupkin and Linkford offices very uncomfortable.
Was it all the people or all the women?
All the people. All the people, because they had a scene there when even the dudes was looking like, why is this bitch here again? It's 9 a.m. Majority of the women, though.
Yes. All right.
All right.
There we go.
So they start to find themselves in this weird, ambiguous friendship where there's a clear attraction there.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get to the point where the amount of time that we're seeing each other and how we're talking to each other would be considered inappropriate to my wife.
Yeah, definitely.
So Richard Cooper, Chris Rock, tries to quell this by saying, we can't talk no more. I can't do this, But she keep dragging this motherfucker back in.
The situation she keep dragging him in are just like crazy to me.
She's dragging him into her own relationships, her own wants and desires for her future and all this other stuff. And she drops the line saying that, we could be good together. We could be great together, matter of fact. She says all this while she's engaged to somebody else. She says, I don't really want this shit, but this is security. But, me and you would have that thing. Yeah. Or whatever, right? Chris Rock is just completely flustered and confused, lacking passion in his own marriage, gets caught up in a moment where he's about to take advantage. She's offering pussy. He's going to go get it.
Yeah. Skipped a few things, though. We skipped the part where she had him come out, to a nightclub or a party that she never showed up to. He ended up getting high with some of the same people who sold him a shirt. Then he ended up getting dragged into going to some ex's house for some reason in Washington, D.C., and got his ass whooped.
This nigga hopped on the plane for her in the middle of his workday.
And ended up missing a very important meeting later on that day, which in result cost him a lot of money.
She's a Jezebel. We got all that.
Yeah.
I ain't feel like mentioning that because it ain't going to be the topic of our show.
I understand.
But long story short, though, there was some reconciliation. Chris Rock did not go through with all the way cheating, but he did cheat. All right. I'm curious because the scene is her on the bed in lingerie in the hills looking fucking like a glazed ham and shit, just ready to be devoured. He takes off her panties, starts kissing on her legs and shit like that. When do you think the line got crossed? Like, oh yeah, there it is. You cheated, motherfucker. It's over.
When did the line get crossed?
Yeah.
When the nigga was in the room and she was in bra and panties talking about, you want to rub some lotion on me.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So he cheated before he even went in the bedroom.
He cheated on, bro, you went there with intent.
Yes.
It's cheating in itself.
If as a man you have intent to cheat, but you don't go through with it, is it still a fireable offense?
It's disciplinary. Definitely. I don't know if it's fireable, but you definitely going to have some discipline behind it. And it also comes down to if you are dealing with a woman that does not tolerate that and has zero tolerance. Yes, I would expect a pink slip.
Okay. Got you there. At the end of the movie, Chris Rock's character winds up reconciling with his wife, and they try to find this whole thing of like, I don't want to be with nobody else. I enjoy our life. I enjoy our marriage.
In the most comedic way possible.
It needs to be fixed, and they did it in the R&B.
Most comedic way possible.
They did it in a way that was fantastic. You had to watch it for yourself because I ain't singing today.
Yeah,
but it was great. But yeah, happily ever after. It seems that they left off.
Okay.
Or whatever. Nikki, we don't know what happened. Hopefully she's happy with Wendell Pierce. But Who knows? The shit. But there's a bigger conversation to be had about, like we said, dealing with long-term relationships and that commitment level, the temptations that come outside your marriage, outside your relationship, and also whether or not marriage as it's currently constructed, the highest form of monogamy, can that be considered a prison? We're going to talk about that plus more on today's episode, so make sure you stay tuned. But before we get into the breakdown, who the hell would we be if we didn't give out some facts about this film that you might not known about? So this film was directed by Chris Rock. However, it was originally supposed to be directed by a gentleman named Charles Stone III. Chris Rock directed the film at the recommendation of having the conversation with director Steven Spielberg. He said, yo, you should start filming your own projects. Seemed like an extra paycheck. You're an actor already, you probably know what to do, and then do it. I love that. You know, we see it with like Michael B. Jordan now doing Creed 3 and stuff like that. Other actors and actresses have filmed their own movies. I think what's his name? John Krasinski? He did
John Krasinski, yeah, he did A Quiet Place.
He did Quiet Place. Fan-fucking-tastic. Great job. So I love seeing stuff like that. Get your extra bag. Another thing that you might not have known about this movie is the firm that Chris Rock works at. It's called Pumpkin and Langford.
Yes.
This pays homage to Jerry Lewis and Robert De Niro's movie, The King of Comedy, where De Niro plays Rupert Pumpkin and Lewis plays Jerry Langford. So that was a nice little call.
Oh, wow.
And Chris Rock and Kerry Washington were also romantic love interests in the movie Bad Company in 2002, 5 years prior. So they had some familiarity on screen in the love romantic category. So I guess they felt the need to rekindle that.
That sure enough was Kerry Washington.
A young Kerry Washington.
Yeah.
A young Kerry Washington.
Yes, it was.
Still no ass, but yes. Kerry Washington.
Come on, yo.
Nonetheless. I don't want to start a scandal in this motherfucker.
I bet you don't.
I don't want to start
I bet you don't.
Scandal. So, a couple of facts that you might not have known. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, shall we, Nove?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So, let's talk about temptation when it comes to being in a serious relationship. I'm going to refrain from putting a timetable on it just to start off, even though I think time changes things as
Absolutely
we mature.
does, yes.
But let's just talk about the whole bells and whistles, X's and O's of dealing with temptation while you are committed to somebody else. Personal experience, have failed in that arena in the past. Temptation. Do you think that we have an underlying culture in relationships where a lot of the temptation comes from the fact that you tell somebody, I got a girl, I got a man, I'm married. That the society that we live in today, like people take that and be like, okay, and so?
Yeah, definitely. The other part of that is people will say, and so? There's other people that say, oh, really?
Yeah, been there. Yeah.
There's other people that be like, if you don't mind, I don't mind. We live in a culture where,
oh, I'm married too?
Yeah. Like it's the ring isn't as respected as it should be. Relationships in itself aren't as respected as they should be. But yeah, temptation is one of those things that's never going to leave. It's all about how you handle it. Like you said, you've fallen in the past. I've stumbled here or there, once or twice.
What the fuck does that mean?
I've slipped and stumbled once or twice.
You tripped over a shoebox into some pussy. Okay.
I don't. I've made my mistakes. I've paid my debts. I've done my time. And I could say temptation is always going to be around us. It's all about, like you said, time isn't a factor. So you have to look at what the relationship means to you.
Do you feel like, and I don't want to go off on a diatribe, but do you feel like temptation is a sign that monogamy itself is something that is constrictive to our natural biology. That, okay, you said that you were about to align yourself with one individual. If you're married, you're saying that for the rest of your life. If you're in a committed relationship, you're saying that I'm not going to break this promise that we got between us. But the temptation that is so hard to fight back against, is that just biology kind of coming to you and saying some shit like, yo, why would you put yourself in that situation where you got to be tied down to just one?
I feel like from a physical standpoint, it's always going to be that. Like, men, we are visual creatures. As much as we try to make it out to be more complex than it is, visually, that is what hits our nerves first. I think what it comes down to is, without going deep inside that rabbit hole, is like, you can look, as they say, like, you have eyes. Any person that's with somebody and be like, yeah, I don't want them to even look at a person. I'm sorry to say, you are fucking delusional.
Yeah, you're living in a fantasy land,
Like,
for sure.
let's be fucking real. Like, yeah, you're going to have those moments where you're going to see something like, oh shit. But, you know, there's something deeper than that. Like, it's that deeper part of that that's like, yeah, as much as I might be attracted to somebody physically, like, you get to that point where it's like, yeah, that's just not enough for me to fuck up everything I already got. Like, it really ain't.
It is something to say, though, that there are deeper levels of temptation that comes along with being committed to someone else, though.
Absolutely.
There is like this allure of, and when I say allure, I'm speaking from the perspective of a person that has made that mistake, that recognizes that mistake, and has no fucking affinity or feeling like, oh, I understand why I did that, and I have like some type of excuse why I did that. I'm not coming from that angle, but what I'm saying is, it seems like there's something more alluring about the taboo of the temptation.
Okay.
So it's sort of like you can have sex with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And it could be fantastic. The added spice of, we really shouldn't be doing this.
Oh yeah.
It adds an element to that's kind of like, damn, it makes a temptation like even more powerful.
It adds more spice to the recipe.
So if you got to like see said individual all the time or whatever, and it's like this constant pressure of like biology saying like, you eventually like submit to like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, I can't, how the fuck can I keep saying no, or I shouldn't be doing this? That's where the guilt comes in after you do it, and you kind of like, what the fuck am I doing?
Like, damn.
Like, why the fuck did I do that? I know this shit not even worth it.
Yeah.
But it's a I'll go as far as to say this shit is it's a kink. It really is a kink, if you want to be honest with you. The same people that have like whatever kind of sexual transaction in public.
Yeah.
It's that thrill of getting caught. You don't want to get caught in this particular situation, but it's the whole thing of like,
We could get caught, but the fact that we're getting away with it is like spicing everything up and shit. Yeah, of course.
Right.
And I think that's part of the allure, like we were talking about before. Like, that goes into the relationship / marriage at this point. Like, the forbidden fruit that you're not supposed to have is always more alluring than your other options that's around you.
Yeah, just ask Eve.
We're just
For real.
we're just here.
Just, hey, the snake came slithering down. I mean, slithering and shit. Say, hey, you want one of these figs?
Nah.
She was like, I don't think I was supposed to be eating that. God, not my baby father. Not my baby father. God said, no, I should not be eating this shit. And this nigga talked into eating some figs.
Come on.
Don't you want to eat some fucking figs?
Don't you want some?
And you know what I mean? She ruined humanity as far as we know it. So,
but I will say this. I'll say, when it comes to that allure of, we really shouldn't be doing this, I think it's a strong feeling. That's just strong.
it's a strong pull.
It's very strong.
It's a strong pull.
I feel like what's stronger than that, though, sometimes is that reverse effect after you do it, or after you do some mischievous or devious act. Because we always talk about, like, the cheating aspect of what happens when you do it and, the immediate ramifications and everything. But I don't think we really focus on what happens after that. Like immediately after that, you just kind of feel like, and let me say this real quick, because I know it's going to be people like, oh, no, I don't feel like that. Fuck that. Cool. Teach his own.
That's you.
But I feel like there's always that sense of like you did something dirty, like you feel dirty. And then you know what happens usually? Usually you get paranoid of that other motherfucker doing something. Why? Because you just did something. And you know how easy it is for somebody to do something.
Yeah.
So you start looking at them like, but where are you going? I'm just going to this store. Why you need your phone to go to this?
Yeah, why you got your phone on Do Not Disturb all the time and shit like that?
Why you tripping? It makes you very paranoid. And that's part of the guilt rearing itself for you.
I think that temptation, like you said, it's always going to be there. It's inevitable. We also, like I said, we live in a society where the confines of your marriage, the confines of your relationship is not necessarily respected by the majority of people that might find you attractive, or like if a motherfucker wants you, they're not going to let the fact that you're married with children stop their efforts if they really, really own it like that. So I think the key, and it's really just me theorizing because I'm trying to grow as a man. I'm trying to learn from previous mistakes. I'm trying to learn from other people's mistakes. And I'm starting to understand that when it comes to combating temptation, the spice of the relationship that you in has to be that you're constantly trying to find things that counterbalance the temptation on the outside. So it's like the effort you put in to trying to keep your shit at home together, to keep your shit at home spicy, to keep your shit at home like that fire that's there and shit. Meeting a new version of your partner. You have to like constantly try to do that to combat all the pressure from the outside. Because if you two attractive people in a relationship, every time your girl go to the gym, every time your man go to the grocery store, anytime they go to work and they got coworkers or some shit like that that's attracted to them, it's going to be that constant pressure.
Yeah, work wife, work husband shit is a real thing.
Oh my God.
Shit is real.
Toxic, man.
It's a real thing though.
It really is toxic. It really is toxic. You know what I say too, bro? It's like, I always got this joke that I say like out loud. And I know it's like not easy, but I always say like, if the shit is so hard, just stay single. Right? If you can't if you find yourself in a situation where you keep getting into relationships and you're like a habitual or like fucking repeat offender of like being a cheater or giving in to temptation, it's like, yo, just stay single. That is easier said than done. Yeah. Right? People love the comfort of home and having somebody that they could go home and count on and rely upon. Some people, you've probably heard this shit, motherfuckers say, oh, it's just sex. Like, what's the big deal? I fuck her, I come home to you, and it's like, I'm not even thinking about her after I fuck you. We had Steve Buscemi's character inside this film who was
happily married.
Trying to advise Chris Rock's character, like, yo, you got fucking kid at home. Yeah. You got a wife who's great. We love her. Yeah. She's cool. You need to take your ass home to her. He's like, motherfucker, your ass be sleeping with the interns and people here at the job. He's like, I'm different. I don't have emotions. I fuck them. I go home and kiss my wife on the forehead and I go to bed and I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, you, on the other hand, you can't handle that. So you need to take your ass home because this chick is fucking you and you don't even know it.
And it's fucking true. Like, if you look at the way the shit played out, he was absolutely right.
He was right.
Like, wow.
But the advice that he was taking was coming from a place of like, I know my shit. I know where my shortcomings are.
I know my demons.
And it's like,
you don't.
I'm trying to protect you.
Exactly.
I think anytime you're in a committed relationship or you're married, at some point in time, you need to be aware of where your blind spots are. Yeah. You need to be aware of what you're weak to and what could possibly be your biggest temptations. And you need to do every single thing that you can possibly do to fortify yourself against that if you really truly love and respect your other half. Because if you're not doing that, it's like, what the fuck are you, what are you really doing? You really need to remain single. So for instance, right, if you're in a position where you fall into this category of men who are attractive, especially when you're an attractive man. Your options is like you got a lot of options and shit. And
fight every day.
if you put yourself in a position where you flirting with bitches in the break room, or y'all taking breaks together at your job, or every time you go to this one store to buy your sneakers, you keep flirting with the teller or some shit like that, and you call it innocent. It's only about so many times you can call it innocent before one of the walls get breached in the dam, and it's like, oh shit, now we got this whole flood of emotions or some shit like that. And you want to take advantage of opportunities that has presented itself. You know what I mean? It's a slippery slope
It's a very slippery slope
to be trying to walk. If you're not constantly saying like, yo, I'm about to have a conversation with this female. I'm going to go into it consciously. I'm going to keep this shit short and sweet.
Yeah, I'm not.
And if she say that one thing that she be saying that's like flirtatious, my response is going to be this again.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of got to do. And I'm pretty sure it's the same on the opposite end. As females, us men being visual creatures, you probably getting hollered at on a daily basis. You got a fat ass walking in the auto zone. Come on, son. Like, motherfuckers are going to be on you or some shit like that.
Exactly.
It's up to you to not turn around and be on some shit like...
Or entertain it. Like, stay the course, as you would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me go inside and ask the motherfucker behind the register this question instead of asking the motherfucker out here that's fixing cars or some shit that keep hollering at me every time I'm here type situation.
Like, just keep your head down and walk, or just walk past. Don't even put your head down. Don't even draw attention to the situation.
So I feel like the remedy to temptation is discipline, just like any other thing. If you got a diet where you eating certain type of foods and your doctors hit you with that thing of, life been fun for you, obviously. But you keep going down this road that you on, eating Italian cheeseburgers and shit like that, you're probably going to have congestive heart failure one day at this point. Looking at your numbers, looking at your charts, you're at a high risk based on your family history or whatever like that. So I need you to cut out all carbs, all saturated fats, all high fructose corn syrup, stuff like that. You need to have that level of like, yo, oh, my life on the line. And in this situation, romantically, your life being your relationship's life is on the line with every single conversation that you have with the opposite sex. You know what I mean? So you go on a work trip with somebody, you got to be on some shit like, I'm going to conduct myself a certain type of way here because I got to, because I'm married or I'm in a relationship.
You also have to understand, like, people have those abilities or gifts, as you called it before, where people flirting don't even know they flirting.
Right.
Or speak in such a way like, you don't even know what you're saying. Like,
right.
I'm not trying to flirt. It's like, yeah, but you have to understand you can speak in such a way. Somebody might take it as that. Like, fuck. So, yeah, you have to be very cognizant of what you do versus what you think you don't do.
Right.
Like, if you know, a lot of people do this thing where they're like, I like speaking with eye contact. Yeah, certain people you do that to. Certain people you don't. And you have to know the people you don't.
I feel like you're trying to expose me, bro.
I'm not saying nothing.
I feel like you're trying to expose me.
Do you feel a certain type of way about that?
I do.
Why?
I fucking do. I feel like you.
What do you mean?
I feel like you're running down my bio and shit. That's what I kind of feel like.
I don't know. I mean, certain people speak a certain type of way.
Anybody that knows us knows that you are a very charismatic person, right?
I disagree, but
anybody that knows me knows that I'm a very charming person. And that I am a lover of black women, especially. That I like to elevate them. Right? I'm real big on boosting female ego, self-esteem, and all this other shit. Complimentary and all this other shit like that. As a married man, I have to be aware of that shit now.
Yes, you do.
I have to be cognizant of how I speak to you in your responses.
That's true.
And that, if we being honest, is a hard transition from how you've operated for 20 plus years to say like, okay, that's your response now, versus saying like, yeah, you look great today.
Nah, you can't say that. Gotta keep it short, sweet.
Like, all right, you got the new hair, dude. You looking real good.
Nope.
We going out tonight?
Paying too much attention. Can't do that.
So
let that be my cross to bear for you.
Yeah, I've since passed that over to your lane and shit.
I appreciate it.
Take the ball, run with it, and score. All right, sir.
I don't know no other way, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. But moving into another round we were talking about. All right. You swore to tell the truth, whole truth, no, but truth.
And I swore to protect my wife too.
You did say that. As a married man, what are some challenges you feel like you've had to face that you didn't normally face as a single man? Like, basically, if you were to give me any free game right now, if you were to drop a gem on the floor, like, I'm going to get this to you, Nove. You need to know this before anything else. What's the biggest change of being single and being married?
Well, when it comes to temptation?
Yes.
There is a mental shift in your mind when it comes to dealing with temptation once you're married. Because while no temptation is ever innocent, you got to deal with it accordingly. You kind of deal with temptation differently when you feel like I'm in a situation where I'm obligated to somebody else forever. So imagine that. Damn, we talk about marriage being a prison. Let's just go there as an analogy, even though I don't feel like I'm in a prison being married. Let's talk about you being a prisoner. Let's say you caught a gun charge and you locked up for 6 years.
Okay.
Versus you being caught up in a triple murder and you getting capital punishment. You're going to be in jail for the rest of your life. I'm telling you right now, as somebody that has been on the inside, the food tastes differently when you know you're going to get out versus when you know you're going to be there forever. There's an appreciation for like every bite when it's like, God damn, I can't wait till one day
get out.
Had that Chicken Shack or fucking Arby's or goddamn Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever the fuck you partake in. Ruth Chris, if you got the cash. Versus I'm going to be eating this meal for the rest of my life. You don't appreciate that meal because it's like I'm going to get the same slop again tomorrow. It's
the same cereal, same corn.
So it's weird like that. So temptation when it comes to me as a married man, which I still deal with it. I'm not a person who I ain't Michael B. Jordan and shit. I could go outside and be all right. All right. I ain't gonna get hit on all the fucking time or some shit like that. But I've had situations where females have shot their shot and there's a level of decorum that you have to portray yourself as a married man. Because let's say you have to give a response to a female that is coming on to you in a romantic or sexual manner. Your response is representative of your entire family. So if you're the spokesperson of your family, what would you say? It's like, oh, with that in mind, have a nice day, ma'am. I guess I'll see you tomorrow, or let me know when that email comes in and shoot me the email and shit. Nah. Oh, you just give me a number. We could text. Nah, just shoot me the email. We'll be good. We'll just keep it moving like that.
Keep it very professional. Keep it very short, very sweet.
Don't
short. Don't entertain. I think that's the biggest thing I caught. Like, you can't even entertain. Like, you know, that whole thing people do when they're quote unquote single. That's before the ring comes on. Is what your boyfriend or girlfriend won't let you have friends. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. You already know my fucking stance. I don't feel like I've ever gone a second in my life, walked down the street, physically seen somebody I was attracted to, mind you, and said, you know what, self?
That'd make a great.
It's a good day to make a fucking friend.
Hey, friend.
Like, never. And here's another challenge. Put people on free game. If you think I'm bugging out, you think it's just me, you think I'm out of control, right? This goes for males and females, right? Perfect fucking test. If you think I'm bugging out and you think your quote unquote friends are your friends of the opposite sex, shoot your shot one night. Shoot your shot and see how many people take you up on that offer. If they take you up on the offer, let me be the first to tell you, they might be cool. They ain't your friend.
Yeah, you about to, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say.
Nah, be careful.
This is J Optics talking.
Listen.
I'm gonna say I would not advise that advice.
Nah, go
Anybody
ahead.
that's out there listening to the show, because
Do it.
You start shooting your shots, and
Do it.
it's all well and good until motherfuckers start shooting real shots in real life. Because people do go through people's phones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
People do go to people's phone companies and get call logs printed out, and they will show up at a person's house and be like, "Why the fuck is my husband calling you?" And then rounds of ammunition start getting thrown back and forth. So I would not advise that. I would say be cognizant of the fact that platonic friendships normally, under normal circumstances, do not work unless your significant other is also involved in the friendship as well. So you ain't friends with a dude. You ain't friends with a female. Y'all all friends, including your wife and your husband. So we all know about each other.
Exactly.
And there should never, ever be a conversation where you're talking to somebody
In
about
secret,
anything in your significant other, husband or wife, doesn't come up in a conversation because y'all essentially are one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So one other piece of like free game that I could give is it's hard once you're married or in a committed relationship to throw away your ego. Because once the temptation starts coming, once you're married or in a long-term relationship, every temptation becomes like an ego stroke. When you're single, it just becomes a part of the game. So if somebody's courting you, quote unquote, while you're married, it's almost like, it ain't even almost like, it's actually like you're hearing shit that you haven't heard from your partner in a while, probably. They're telling you how handsome you are, like how good you look, the stuff that they want you to do to them. And the last time you talked to your wife or your husband, y'all was talking about like drapes and shit, or y'all was talking about what kind of backsplash we gonna put up in the kitchen, or we late on the rent and shit. Like, what the fuck we gonna do? It's like all this stuff is like not sexy. So when somebody's talking to you outside the house, they just giving you all the shit that's like, God damn, I missed this fucking thrill, and then this excitement and all this other shit, and it kind of frees you and shit. You have to fight your ego of thinking like, oh, somehow, some way, somehow, shape, way, or form, that this person that's outside your marriage is elevating you. It's not an elevation at all and shit. They're actually knocking your foundation away little bit by little bit, and they can pull out and leave at any time, but meanwhile you just get left stranded with a husband or a wife that found out that's totally broken off the shit, and your marriage is done. All right, so a lot of free game is when dealing with the opposite sex and temptation, the hardest part of taking your ego out the situation is talking to people of the opposite sex in a way that is like, I'm going to speak to you now between us two as if my husband or wife was here as well. And that's a lot of control to give over. Like, why the fuck I gotta act? I'm not a child. I'm not going to be on some shit like, oh, my husband or wife is in my back pocket everywhere I go. And it's like, I got to talk a certain way, or I got to talk differently, or some shit like that. It's hard. Your ego don't want to let that go.
Yeah.
But if you want to have like a successful rejection of the temptation, it better be a part of your repertoire of, I'm going to speak to you as if my wife is here. I'm going to speak to you as if my husband is here, and people are watching.
That's also like just, I don't want to say simple, because nothing's simple about the situation when you're in the situation. Everything looks a lot more simple when you're not in it. But that comes down to more so simple respect for your partner.
Yeah.
And being cognizant of, the way I always think about it is this way. Like, what I'm doing out here, I know my partner could be doing as well. How would I want my partner to behave? That's how I will behave. And you have to show that type of reverence, and you have to show that type of respect for your partner, because at the end of the day, you said something similar. You are a reflection of your relationship.
Absolutely.
So
we saw it in the movie where Chris Rock is walking through the office with Nikki, whether or not he with her or not, and then people in the office are kind of looking at him like, dude, like, really?
Bro? What are we doing?
Really? And I've been in that situation where like people have like, they're looking at you, and you can say like you don't give a fuck, but the stares, you notice them and shit. You can feel it. It's palpable. Like God damn. Like everybody here knows I'm in a relationship, and they see me dealing with this other female, and they kind of give me the look like on some shit like, bro, that's kind of fucking tacky, dude. You're
tarnishing yourself. You're tarnishing your image, and you're tarnishing the viewpoint on the relationship, and everything you say about your relationship after that is like forfeit, almost. You know what I mean?
So yeah, you had brought up an interesting question regarding the movie. So obviously there was a dynamic in the movie where inside his marriage that Richard and Brenda marriage got, let's keep it a bean and shit. It looked boring.
Definitely does.
It looked boring. It looked absent of any passion. It looked absent of any fire. There was no novelty in there. Brenda, as fine as she is, played by Gina Torres, she just wasn't given she wasn't given the feels of yeah, like I'm still yours and shit like that. Just kind of felt like y'all just going through the routine of that everyday shit. I can see why people have this idea of marriage. They look at this scene and be like, a lot of marriage couples wind up being like that. Why the fuck would I want to sign up for that shit?
Okay.
Man.
All right. Let's get deep. Let's go.
Like I say, I'm telling you. As a listener of this show, if you're listening in fucking arm's length of this show or whatever, marriage is a lifestyle, bro. And the shit is not for everybody, right? If you look at marriage like a diet, and let's say it's the strictest diet that you could put your body through, it's almost like training for a marathon, if you will, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Do you want to be on a diet where you got to train for a marathon for the rest of your life? If the answer is no,
don't do it.
Stay away from marriage.
Okay.
Not only stay away from marriage, stay away from the allure of marriage. Because everybody wants to be with somebody.
Yeah.
The highest form of being with somebody is marriage. And they think, oh, that must be the end goal. That is the fairy tale. That is the fin in chapter. Done. Complete. I made it. Everybody's excited. Like Viola Davis said, your marriage starts when you look over at the other person and you start to question whether or not you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. That's where your marriage starts at. It doesn't start at the altar. What starts at the altar is both parties die. That's what altars are made for. So behind all the white dresses and all the groom coming out with the groomsmen and they doing the dances and shit like that and all the parties and the drinking and open bar and all this other shit like that, realize by definition, an altar is where people go to die. So when you get married at the altar, you die as yourself, she dies as herself, and then y'all are reborn as one unit. If you ain't ready for that type of sacrifice, you should probably keep doing what you're doing and stay single. Now, life ain't going to be that fun for you once you turn 45, 55, 65, 70 years old.
And you still looking around.
It's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
At some point in time, your stock out here on these dating streets is going to start to decline and a rapid decline.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go down gradually.
It falls fast.
Right? Because finding somebody in your age bracket, like especially if you a man, let's say you out here, you still want to date and you 55, what's the odds that you're going to find somebody that really love you for you? Especially if you got money or some shit like that.
Yeah, nah.
You think that chick that's 26 like really with you because
it's just something about you?
Chill.
Nah.
So if you're really not willing to set up and set your life up for signing up for this diet, don't sign up for marriage. If you don't feel like you're the type of person that's built for marriage, that's fine. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But leave this marriage shit for people that is really built for this shit. You get what I mean? So I feel like one of the things that I've learned through being married and being in a long-term relationship for the last 13 years is there's a level of sacrifice and role playing that you have to play in order to keep this shit healthy.
What do you mean role playing? Further explanation.
It ain't about you. It's about the health of the team. You could be the star quarterback on your football team. But if coach come in before the game and hand you the playbook and be on some shit like we're running the ball every play today because this team sucks at run defense, And these are the 15 plays I need you to run all game. I don't need you to throw. I don't need you to do shit. If I got to hear your name called out by the announcer, there's a problem. Turn around, hand the ball off. That's what I need you to do so we can win. Your ego is not going to want to deal with that.
So basically it's like you said before, if you have ego in a relationship or a marriage, it ain't going to work.
Your marriage got room for 3 people. You, your spouse, and God. Your ego is a whole nother person. Your pride is a whole nother person. And it ain't no room for them. All right? So if you got an ego issue, you're not built for this. You're definitely not built for this. But you got to do all the necessary work to make sure that the team survives. And the shit sounds scary. And even though we do the shit in a whole bunch of different areas of our life, and motherfuckers be on some shit like that shit ain't crazy. You'll take your ass to work while your ass dead sick and probably should stay in the house, but you'll go work though.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got to get my money, but you don't need your wife that bad though.
Yo, I've said that in the past. Like so many things we're willing to sacrifice at the drop of a hat without even thinking about it. But when it comes to anything pertaining to like heart, head, relationship, like nah, it doesn't.
Like, nah, who you think I am? You think I'm about to sit up here and look crazy for you? It's like
yo, you go to this job every day that pays you $15 an hour where you don't want to do anything else because you're comfortable, but you think that makes you look crazy?
You'll sacrifice for your corporate job. You'll sacrifice for a sick parent. You'll sacrifice for your child. You'll sacrifice for a friend, your bestie. But you won't sacrifice for your wife. Oh yeah. You won't sacrifice for your husband,
for your loved one, and nothing like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
You're probably not built for this marriage shit, and that's fine. Just don't do it. Don't fool yourself in thinking that you built for that.
And
shit.
Don't trick yourself into doing it.
No. So there are a couple things that you could do to try to keep the balance of the novelty that you kind of need when you're dealing with somebody for the rest of your life. And you got to create novelty. You got to create some type of absence, and you got to create some type of longing for the shit to work, as weird as it sounds. So you want to spend the rest of your life together with somebody, but you want to not constantly. You want to try to inject feelings of they're not here if you can and shit. Because, wow, they might have a person that's, at their job that's applying pressure or some shit like that. And it's sort of like they get to leave for 16 hours and come back and then hit the reset button and shit. Meanwhile, with you, it's every fucking day. And if y'all got the day off together, y'all going to spend time with each other every day. It's hard for you to create that whole spark of, oh my God, I missed you. I haven't seen you in a minute. So you have to find ways to do that. I think some of the ways that you could do that is understand that people are constantly evolving. The partner that you with today might not be the same person tomorrow. So be curious about your partner. Like, get to know the new them, their new interests, their new peaks, their new valleys, things that they might not be into no more. Try to introduce them to new things and see how they react to it or some shit. Things that they said I'm not really down for that.
Inquire deeper into that.
That was 2 years ago. Let's see if that might change. You might have a new taste in certain shit. That could be food, or that could be sex.
Yeah.
You was totally shut down. You said you would never do such and such. Maybe that one night you is. After we finished watching Power or some shit like that. Or maybe you fucking read a romance novel and you read it in a story and it said, that shit sound kind of good actually.
I want to try this. Like, oh, you want to try that?
Fuck it. If the shit don't work out while we start, we'll stop and go back to whatever we doing and shit. Another thing that I think that can help that I heard from a lady called Esther Perel is gazing at your partner with different eyes or through the eyes of another. You and I both have been recording artists in the past, like rappers and shit like that. I've dealt with women in the past that was on some shit like, you've never looked as sexy as you did when I saw you up there performing.
Yeah.
Or when I heard you on this mixtape that you gave me or something like that.
Yeah, your voice sounds or something.
It's
like
almost
that,
like you was a whole nother motherfucker. And I got
person.
so attracted. Oh, you my favorite rapper. And so like, I'm still the same nigga you chilled with the last 3 fucking days. And it's just that.
It's different.
It's a different element that you're meeting of me, like my persona. Like my wife listens to this podcast and she hears my voice as she's driving to work or doing something else. And it's sort of like, it's almost like a new nigga.
Yeah.
It's like you got to kind of find ways to bring that into your relationship. So it ain't just looking at your ass getting in the shower, getting up to go to work, coming home, cook, go to sleep every fucking day and shit.
Yeah, they gotta see you as a different person, or see you in different elements where certain things and certain ideals might change. Like, there's a difference between J Optics such and such at such and such company and J Optics podcaster savant. You know,
come on, man.
You know, like,
I'm no savant.
Hey, man, listen.
I'm something that transcends that.
All right, yeah, maybe the wrong word, but yeah, you know, we get what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So yeah, creating that longing is definitely a major key. You want to bring in an element of surprise into your relationship. That definitely helps. If you got a partner that's up to it, maybe a random ass dinner out instead of eating a random old Taco Tuesday. Maybe we going to a Mexican restaurant tonight. Throwing this dress right quick. I want to take you out, get you dressed up, throwing that perfume I like, and then we finna go out on this date right quick. Let me take you on a ride down the West Side Highway. We just gonna chill out, vibe out, have a couple drinks, smoke something, and then keep it moving and shit. Just to break up the monotony of the ins and outs, because the temptation that comes outside your relationship is all the new shit. It's all the new shit that they didn't do before and shit. It's all new dates. The conversation is new. It's the getting to know you. It's like, how the fuck do you find a way in a long relationship to get to know somebody that you already know?
I said, now, you as a married man, you can let me know if I'm on the right track or on the wrong track. I feel like, to me, the relationship starts to die when you stop trying to learn new shit about your partner.
Absolutely.
And I hinge on that almost to like a scary degree, and maybe I need to like really loosen the reins on that, because I know, especially during the first stages of when you start dating somebody, you know, you want to know every fucking thing. And sometimes it's like, yeah, I want to know everything, just not right the fuck now.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I need to space this shit the fuck out. But I do find it interesting, like, you know, in the beginning, it's almost like back and forth. You know, it's almost like ping pong, right? You know, you bouncing questions back and forth. You're really into each other. You want to get to know. Then at some point, like, somebody's more aggressive in ping pong. And you notice, like, the ball's coming back slower. Or you notice there's a lot more timeouts being called. It's like, yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck is going on? And that's where, in my mind, my psyche be like, all right, pay attention, wake up. Like, whatever type of lull you were in, like, nah, we awake now. All right, pay attention to everything. And
one thing I've struggled with that I've learned has been a big benefit to my marriage is curiosity without judgment. And it's the whole thing of getting to know your partner, new things, how their mind has changed, new things that they have learned and are having feelings about, and like asking that without judging or putting them in a box of what you thought you knew about them. So they might feel uncomfortable sharing new information or new feelings with you because you've painted them and put them in this position where, like, I need you to be the same bitch that I married 10 years ago.
yeah.
And if you ain't, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you interested in doing such and such, or you want to go visit this place or that place. It's like,
Where'd that come from?
where the hell did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
you talking to somebody who is
put
like,
that thought in your head?
who's influenced
Yeah.
you now and shit. Like, I don't like that. If you could find a way to be curious about their new interests, curious about their new endeavors, now you could kind of put yourself in a position like, oh, I could be supportive to this. I could see things from your perspective, and I also could get to know you, so I ain't got to worry about somebody else out there getting to know you. Because a lot of times when motherfuckers cheat, they are not all the time, but I'm coming up with some shit on the fucking fly. I think a lot of times when motherfuckers cheat, they are cheating from the perspective of the new version of themselves. And they're saying, the person that I'm choosing, the part of me that is making this unfortunate decision to step out of my relationship and go cheat with somebody else is the culmination of the new version of myself that I've turned into. Because the old me would never have said that they would have done this. But guess what? I'm not that motherfucker no more. So I'm talking, I'm vibing, I'm having text conversations, I'm having phone conversations, I'm having face-to-face conversations with a person, and I tell them something, they eating this shit up and they love the person that I am now. When I go home and tell my husband or tell my wife that I like fucking anime now, they on some shit like, I ain't watching no fucking cartoons. Are you kidding me? I'm a grown ass man. But they talking to somebody that's on some shit like, oh shit, I love fucking Naruto. Oh, I love anime or some shit like that. Oh, you like fucking Jeezy too? Like, hey, like I love all the new version of, I love this version of you. It's the new version. But I'm holding you to this box of, nah, I thought you liked Jay.
You gotta be open to making more connections than what you thought you knew. Because, like you said, what if she comes out and says something like, yeah, you know, I kind of been taking up this interest in like photography, which is something right up your wheelhouse the whole time. Like, oh yeah, you have a connection right there, and that can lead to whatever other connections. It's like you can't.
My wife don't care about photography. You do. It's like, oh wow, okay.
Like, oh shit. But you can't, like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, the worst thing you could do to your person is put them in a box. Like, because I feel like you limit and you almost restrict so much of that person. And, like, there's nothing worse than being in a relationship where you feel like you have to almost water down your personality to fit. It's almost like, yo, I feel caged.
I feel caged.
Like, bro.
I cannot spread my wings and be the version of myself that I want to turn into.
Exactly. I feel cramped. I feel like it's almost like, yo, I feel like if I show you the true version of me, I'm gonna scare the shit out you.
Right.
Like, so I have to tone myself down.
Right. Right.
Damn.
Somebody made the perfect analogy or metaphor of saying that the best possible relationship that you could be in is symbolically would be a house that has wings on it. It could fly wherever it needs to go and land and be okay. We can make
wherever
we can be good here in
home.
Kansas. We can be here in Bali. We can be good here in fucking Nairobi or Egypt or wherever it is and shit like that. So, growing old together is tough, man. Long-term relationships is tough. I feel like we shouldn't end the show without talking about something right quick, though.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to talk about, like I just said, I'm not going to sit up here and keep saying, oh, relationships, monogamy, and marriage ain't for everybody without offering some alternatives if you decide not to. What is your thoughts on marriage alternatives, quote unquote? Polyamory, open marriages, what the fuck they call that shit? Cuckolding and shit.
Having a cuckold.
You gonna take your wife to the Ramada Inn and have some motherfucker
and just do all that. Me personally, I don't foresee myself as the type of person at this stage, but I'm also one of the people that have the luxury of, in this stage, I am able to do what the fuck I want. I haven't been put in a position where it's like, well, you know, I feel like we should try this due to this, or let's have a serious conversation about looking at this. It's like, I feel like if I was to draw a line in the sand on anything at this very moment in relation to where the fuck I would hope to be, that would be a little bit closed-minded. So I'd say there's a lot of things I might be open to. What I fall back to as a go-to, I appreciate monogamy. I don't want to share. I know somebody out there is going to be like, so you mean to tell me if they offered you a three? No, I've had a couple of them. No, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm straight.
Really?
I don't need it. I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm good.
Your experience with threesomes has led you to come to the conclusion that
I'm fine.
I think I'm all right with those.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good off.
Well,
those.
have you experienced a threesome in a relationship though with these other participants though?
No, and you know what? My experience with the threesomes I already had would push me further in the direction of like, nah, you don't want that.
Okay.
Nah. And then there's somebody out there, well, you had the threesome. What if she? Absolutely cool. Nah, I'm not be for that either. Nah, we just gonna stay away from that. We just not gonna do it. We just I don't feel. Maybe this is something I might need to grow with. But as of now, as we stand,
that's
March
the key,
31st.
That's the key.
March 31st,
2023.
as we speak right now, if somebody was to ask me like, yo, I want this and that, like, oh, so you want two posing? No, I'm good. I'm right. I'm straight. I'm selfish. I'm gonna be star of my own show.
You know how like a good majority of women who are heterosexual as hell, but they find certain women attractive?
Yeah.
In the celebrity space, of course, or like in real life and shit.
Yeah, in real life.
I fucking love when my wife see like somebody that's bad out in public and be some shit like, oh, look at that. I be like, God damn.
And be like, yo. Yeah.
And then I got to be a perv and always come back on some shit like, would you eat her out though? I feel like that's a proper response. I don't care if we in Whole Foods or Target or some shit like that, and it's sort of like, no.
That's your response.
That is my response.
That's the proper response.
I'm gauging the climate on an
That's
everyday.
a big ass gauge.
I'm gauging the climate on an everyday basis.
Well,
I'm trying to get to my point. So,
oh my God.
obviously, there are celebrities out there that I've heard that my wife has said like, "Oh, she's pretty" or "She's attractive" or whatever like that. And I'm like, "Well, fuck, I agree. Look at her,"
Yeah.
or some shit like that. You'd be out of your goddamn mind if my wife said like, "Hey, you want to bring Meg Thee Stallion to the bedroom or something?" You know what? I don't know about her no more.
What?
I don't know about her no
You
more.
don't know why not? Curiosity, why not?
Something about it just gives like,
Just physical? Is it a physical reason? Or is it something outside? Is it something that your mind is interfering with the way it should be playing?
that Tory Lane shit rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know if I want the problems. I don't know how that night gonna end.
Stop.
But like, if she said like, "Yo, Ice Spice is down. What's good?" I'm not that selfish. I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, all right, cool. That's cool. That's fine. You down? You down too?
Said, all right, cool.
All right,
All right,
fuck
go ahead.
it. Like, let's do it and shit." So I'm just like, I would say that once you've been with somebody for a minute and you having sex with the same person for a while, you have to open your mind up to the possibilities of their curiosities going forward.
All right, so let me,
Sometimes it's just a conversation. There ain't never nothing that's going to come to fruition or some shit like that. But there, like I said, there are times that things that were no's
become
yeses, maybes.
okay,
And then maybes become yeses. And then yeses becomes, I tried it, I'm good, I'm done.
So, all right, not to pry and not to get too deep because we have boundaries and rules here.
Mm-hmm.
Without divulging too much, is there anything that you have considered now that you wouldn't have considered years ago?
There's things that I've considered now that 3 to 5 years ago, I would have been like, hell fucking no. Not a chance in hell.
And now it's like,
Now it's like, if it's good for the team, I'll try it. We'll see.
okay.
This is something that might bring you pleasure. I might try it. But that's the beautiful part of like being with somebody sexually where you can have that open dialogue. Because it's sort of like, oh, you just open the door to that. And I say I'll be willing to try that in order to make this thing more spicy or make you more comfortable or some shit like that. Goddamn right. If that door opens, some other doors might need to get open, or some other requests going to have to be submitted on my end as well.
Like we opening cupboards? We opening cupboards, doors, windows? What's open? I just need to know.
So you open the door, you be able to say, "Oh, would you look at that? Another door."
Another door.
So yeah, it's like that. It gets down like that for sure.
All right.
So, but yeah, man, we're gonna wrap it up there. We're not gonna make no wow long episode. So we about an hour and 20 minutes in. If you listen this whole way, shouts to you, man.
Congrats.
Hope you enjoyed your ride to work or wherever you listening to the show at. We appreciate all our listeners. Once again, Mind on Matters podcast at gmail.com, at Mind on Matters on Instagram. It is Mind on Matters on Twitter as well. Not very active there yet, but I plan on getting that shit popping. We do plan on getting that shit popping, so that's coming shortly. At Mind on Matters on TikTok as well. Can't forget about our TikTok homies, the talkers and shit. But the content is just going to keep coming out. We're trying to find a way to get back to a visual representation of the show like we was before. I know a lot of y'all missed that.
I know a lot of y'all miss us.
Yeah, we miss y'all too.
Yes.
We thinking of some creative ways where we can interact with the public as well, like get out into the streets and y'all can see us. But we hope that you enjoy the quality of the show and the quality of the conversations. For my brother Nove and co-hosts,
a.k.a. Clean Gene Okerlund.
And I'm still just J Optics, your neighborhood shooter. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Later, people.
Peace.